Good morning, everybody. We are in the shop, in my new shop, with our first actual project. And what it's going to be is to spruce up my 100% built from scratch mini bike. So I'll put a link to this video for you guys so you can check it out. I actually have a bunch of videos on building this thing. But right now, last time I rode it was at least 7 months ago, I think. It was the last mini bike race that I did. I can put a link to that video as well. But what happened was the exhaust failed. And this has happened, so the clamp kept failing. So what was happening was the clamp failed before this race, at least once. And then I just rigged up a clamp. What did I do here? Oh yeah, so I put this it's actually a really good old hose clamp on here. The hose clamp didn't fail really, it was the piece of metal that I used. I used the end of the hose clamp to attach to right here. So that failed. And the exhaust just started like slowly, it's rattling and bending the exhaust and just pushed it down to here to the point where it broke off, or I broke it off. No, it broke off, that's right. So it broke off and fell on the ground and someone found it for me. So one of the things we got going on here is this muffler is pretty loose, so I think I'll either weld this or re-rivet it. I'm not sure yet. So we got the muffler to fix, we got the hanger to fix, and I think the problem that I've been having is that the exhaust is solid mounted. So in order to solve that, I got this little exhaust clamp, this rubber mount from like a dirt bike. I'll put a link to this in the video below or in the description below. Stink bugs. Okay. So we're upgrading to an actual clamp that will hold the exhaust properly and has a little bit of rubber, has a rubber isolator that will hopefully keep us from breaking, because I think that's the issue. The motor is solid mounted, so it's not like the motor's moving around, but there's so much vibration, it being solid mounted here just causes fatigue and breaks the clamp and then everything else. So, but this isn't all a loss, because I realized after I built this exhaust, I need to make one that's tighter to the frame, because when I stood up on the bike, my leg would come into contact with the exhaust pipe. So we're gonna fix that problem. And what we have to do that is we got some various bends. I've got these two, I'll put a link below. These are from Amazon. These are just little, I believe they're 1 inch, little 45 degree bends. So I got these two. This is the first time I bought these, so I'm trying them out here and see if I like them. They seem like they're gonna work really good for what I wanna do. I have this piece, I think this was like a radiator hose or something. I can use these bends on here if I need them. And then I have this piece of 1 inch that's also has a bend in it. So yeah, so we're going to use all those bends together, or some combination of them, to build a new exhaust that stays tighter to the frame so it doesn't come in contact with my leg. And then we're going to have the isolation too. So here's the rest of the pipe that I got. So we'll probably use just this part of it wherever we need to join it together. Alright, so another thing I wanted to mention is we're also going to be putting new tires on this thing. That's the rear tire there, there's the front tire there. That one is a 19 by 7/8 and this one is a 20 by 7/8. So we'll get into that a little bit later, but that's also in this video. We're going to be fixing this exhaust and replacing the tires and maybe a couple other small things to get this thing back up and running the way it should. Alright, so we'll just pop this guy off. So we need this flange to build the new exhaust. So I think that's what we're gonna start with. We're gonna cut this completely off, and we're just gonna start with the flange again, the bare flange, and then we'll work from there. Oh, I remember the 224 was slightly different, wasn't it? I think the port on these 224s, this is a 224. I believe that's what it is, right? 224? Yeah, it's the new bigger Predator one, Predator, and the exhaust flange seems to be just slightly different than on the 212s. So I can see, oh yeah, you can see right here. So this part right here is basically a blockage on both sides pretty much. So we could take and clearance that so we can get a little bit more flow out of there. It's definitely not ideal for performance. We're going to do that before I put it back together. But you can also see which side is which. Okay, so it lines up pretty good with this outside edge. But the top edge here and there is where it's definitely just running into that gasket, the exhaust fumes, and then they have to go around the gasket in order to escape. So we'll clearance that, and that'll make it definitely flow a little bit better. What else? When I swapped over from the 224 or from the 212 Hemi to this 224, I think I had to enlarge these just a little bit because they wasn't quite, yeah, definitely. Like the studs were, it seemed like the studs were placed just a tiny bit further apart than on the 212. So let's work on this hanger first. So let's take this off, and then we'll put the muffler with the clamp up here, and we'll figure out where we're going to have that sit. We are getting dumped on. Look at this. I gotta close the door. All this water's coming in here. Poor cows. Wow. I think we might lose power here. I've seen the lights flash a couple times. So we'll see. It's raining hard. Alright, so we have everything kind of prepped, but we can't go any further until we make a hanger for this guy. I think that this is stainless. It should be stainless. So I got to make a tab that can hang this, and the only thing I really know, yeah, the only way, I mean, I could make another strap thing. I could find some material and bend it around and basically make a strap out of it and hang it that way. I'm thinking about doing that, but I think the better way is going to be just to weld a hanger onto here. But then that's another point of failure, possible failure, so I don't know. This is, and if I do make a strap, I have this little isolator thing here. But I mean, this is only so wide. So I don't know. I got to consider a couple things and figure out which direction we want to go with this. Might have to go and cut some more off here. We're gonna find out though here. So alright, so something like that actually is what I'm looking for. Problem is, you can see how that lines up right there. It's not good. Okay, so what we need is I think we need to go ahead and get that in there like that. And then I want to have enough room for this nut down here. So, and I think once we do that, I don't think we need this big one. We might end up using one of these, or maybe this more gradual bend will hook it up right. I don't know. It's hard to figure it out. You know, you gotta basically just tack it and then figure it out from there. All right, I guess we gotta get the welder back on. Just tack that thing in where we want it, where we think it should be, and then go from there. Ugly. Okay. Looks good. Decent gap there. Okay, I got that. Okay. So now we gotta pull that, or at least move that tab, or that clamp. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Alright, so that's it right there. I mean, that is a huge improvement. Once we wrap that thing is going to be nice and under the seat here. And when I stand up, I shouldn't have any problems on this thing. Let's see. Let's just see if we can get in here. Oh yeah, no, we're way away from it now. That turned out so much better. Okay. Alright, so I know I got some crappy MIG weld tacks on here, you know. But we're going to pull this thing off. I'm going to clean it up, and we're going to TIG weld the rest of it. We're going to wrap this with exhaust wrap. We'll get it all back together. And I think it's going to be sweet. That's a massive improvement. And it's not too bad. I mean, we're pretty straight shot. We got 190 out of here. It's a nice 90 though. We got 90 out of here. And then like a 45, or a 40, not a 90. No, that's a 90. And then like a 45 going this way. And then it's out. So, yeah, I like that. This worked out really nice because it was hard to hold two pieces and manipulate two pieces at the same time. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get this off. We're gonna get it welded up. We're gonna get it up on the table, get the TIG welder set up for the first time in the new shop. Man, that's pretty loose. And we'll get this going. All right, well there it is. There's a look at it from the back, on the side, and then from the top, which is probably the most important, is the top there. Because, as you can see, it's inside past where the seat sits. So that way my leg won't hit it. And then we'll look at it from the front here. Yeah. Came out really good. I'm super happy with it. I think that this rubber mount hopefully will help keeping it from shaking apart. At least that's the hope. But knowing my luck, we're going to be doing this again in the future. So we'll see. It turns out we had a bad exhaust spring, or the spring that holds the muffler on. I tried to cut part of it off and rebend it, but I'm just going to end up ordering a new one. But I found that temporary one for now. This guy's on there. It's a pretty stiff one. So yeah, we'll get another one of those to put on there, but for now that's done. Let's start this thing and see what it sounds like. Get that disconnected. Let's see if we got oil in here to start with. Alright, so we got plenty of oil in here. Let's go ahead and... This thing hasn't run since I raced it last, so this may not work at all right now. So we got choke, gas. Is there gas in here? That's a question. Ooh, not much. Let's see if I can get some going back there. I'll just put it up against the wall here. That way if it takes off, it doesn't have anywhere to go. Oh geez, now we're leaking. All right. Carb is leaking fuel. Float's definitely having issues, so that's fine. It runs, it sounds good, it's not too loud. I gotta whack that carburetor a little bit. So, that's good. Step in the right direction. Okay, so let's move on to the next part of the project. All right, so the next part of our project is tires. Now, this is kind of an experiment because I'm running two different tires. So Sunf has this tire that I really like. It's got a very aggressive tread pattern. It is the Power 2, the Sunf Power 2. I've been wanting to run this tire for a while. You know, those knobbies, they work really good when they're new, but I mean, even new, they wouldn't have the tread, the forward, you know, the forward grab that this thing will have. So, I mean, this is almost like a paddle. It's got these big blocks running in here like this. So, we're gonna put this tire on the back, but this tire is a 19 by 7 by 8. They don't make this in a 20. I've been running 20 by 7 by 8s. So I decided, because I didn't really like, one, I want the 20-inch size, and two, I don't know if that makes the best steering tire, but this is like a front tire from like a quad, and I know that this will make a good steering tire. I've seen people run these as well. I've seen people run these on front and back, but this is a 20 by 7 by 8. But here's the thing, when I ordered these, I figured there'd be a 1-inch difference. But look at that. You can see, I don't know if you guys can see, but it's at least a 1-inch difference. It's a very noticeable difference. But I think what's gonna happen is when this one gets mounted, I think it's gonna balloon up a little bit more. And I don't think that's the case for this one, because this one's got a really round profile as it is. So I don't know, we're gonna put them on there. We're gonna see if we like them. I may end up running 2 of these in the future. I may end up running 2 of these. Or we'll just run it as it is, if we like it. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. I've never seen a bead quite so tight. See that right there? Still not seated I don't know how much air we got in here. A little bit. Nothing too bad though. Okay. Nope. Still there. There it goes. Woo! Yeah. See how much taller that grew? That's what I was kind of talking about. It looked so much squarer when it was flat. I think we got too much air in here right now. Let me see. Yeah, way too much. Yeah. Alright. Thinking we'll leave it like that for now. Whew. Alright. There's our rear. Let's see what that looks like next to our front now that it's layered up. Definitely closer. Still a little bit of a difference. It's hard to tell when you're holding it like this though. You know. But that looks much more like a bike tire and less like a go-kart tire. Alright, let's get this tire back on here. Man, I need to find I'd like to get a replacement guard for this. Alright, well there it is. We got new front and rear tires. We got the chain lubed up. We got everything adjusted. That back wheel is a bit of a pain to get with the disc brake and everything, but we got it done. We got it all back together. We got a new exhaust on here. And I think it's time to just take this thing for a ride. There goes it. Alright, so it is very cold outside. I'm going to slap another jacket on over this sweatshirt, and then we're going to get going. Super muddy out. It's super soggy. We got the sun thankfully, but it is, like I was saying, it's super soggy. So we're gonna find out how good these tires do in the mud. Whew. It's been a while since I've ridden anything, but that was fun. Yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. This thing works phenomenally. Now I gotta give it a good bath because I took it out, and the fenders did their job though. Fenders did their job. They gripped, these tires gripped really well in the mud. I mean, even with this thing, with all of the spacing, it still became just like a ball of mud. This back one though, it seemed to work pretty good, but that one was spinning and throwing the mud out. So, whew, I am frozen. I'm really happy with this thing now. That exhaust, I can stand up on here and not get burnt. It sounds good. I'm hoping it's gonna last with that rubber mount. What else? New tires turned out great. All that's awesome. But yeah, stay tuned. There'll definitely be more from this thing in the future. I gotta give it a good bath now, but you guys don't need to watch that. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please smash that like button for me. Hit the subscribe. Hit the bell to get notified of future videos coming out from DJ's Hot Rod and Fab. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.